Hello there, how are you doing? Joe Barnes here and welcome to another episode of Make It Happen Monday. I hope you have had a fantastic week. Now, in today's episode, I want to talk about what are you really willing to do to achieve your goals? And this has come about because I was listening to a podcast. Lots of my episodes come about because I'm listening to podcasts. But I was listening to a podcast and it was Tony Robbins interviewing a lady called Siri Lindley. Now, Siri Lindley is a triathlete and she is a world champion triathlete, but her story is so inspiring because she didn't grow up a triathlete. At college she played, I think, lacrosse and some other team sports, but she decided that she really wanted to become a triathlete, and even though she'd had no prior training and wasn't even a great swimmer or anything like that, off she went after college to go and train to be a triathlete. And she decided, and apparently she said to her mum, I am going to become the world champion at this, okay? And apparently her mum, bless her, just kind of laughed and went along with it and said, yes, dear, you can become anything you want. But she was so bad at doing triathlons that nobody believed that she would ever become the world champion. Anyway, great podcast. You need to listen to the whole thing, and I'll put a link below this video because it's really very inspiring. But what really gripped me, quite a few things caught my attention, but what really gripped me, which is why I wanted to make this episode, was when she talked about going from the training that she'd been doing. She'd had coaches and training and all the rest of it, and felt that she was working really, really hard, really working to her limit on achieving her goals of becoming this world-class triathlete. And then she got invited to go and train with another coach, a very well-known coach in the industry. And she got invited to go and train with him. And all of a sudden she realized that all this training that she had been doing was nothing compared to what he started to put her through. So where she felt that she'd been achieving her limits and really pushing herself, all of a sudden she was pushed another 200% more than she ever thought possible in order to train to become a world champion. And of course it paid off, and sure enough, she became a world champion. And it made me really sit and consider my own life and my own goals and ask myself this question, what are you really willing to do? Are you playing full out? Are you really giving 100, 200% to achieving your goals? And I think probably, for the answer for me was no. Clear, absolutely 100% not. I am not doing absolutely every single thing in my power to go out there and achieve what it is I want to achieve. I'm doing all right, and I've made a lot of effort and I've got a lot of results from my effort, but I am not really playing full out. And it's made me really sit and consider that over the last few days. And I ask you the same question. You know what it is you want to achieve, or hopefully you know what it is you want to achieve. You know what your end goal is. You have a vision of yourself, who you want to be, the business you want to run, where you want to be in life, what it is you want to do. You have that vision. My question is, are you playing full out to get there? Are you pushing yourself beyond 100% in order to achieve those goals? What is it that you're really willing to do, or willing to sacrifice, or willing to commit to achieve everything you want to achieve? Are you willing to get up earlier in the morning or go to bed later at night? Are you willing to work through the night to get what you want to get? Are you willing to move out of your comfort zone? Are you willing to approach people that maybe you didn't think you could approach? Are you, what is it that we don't all want to be Olympians, right? We don't want to all be world champions. So I'm not asking you to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and cycle 25 kilometers up a hill and then run back and then swim for another 5 miles. And, thank goodness, quite frankly, thank goodness that isn't my goal in life. It sounds horrifying. But the question is, what are you willing to do to achieve your goals? Because the thing is, if we only put 70% into what we're doing, we're only going to get 70% out. If we only put 50% in, we're only going to get 50% out. If we only put an hour a day of work in to achieving our goals, we're only going to get an hour a day out. I was watching a video with Tony Robbins the other day, and he was basically saying that life will pay you whatever you ask of it. Life will pay you whatever you ask of it. And of course, if you kind of read into that, it's going to give you back whatever you're willing to put in. You know, didn't our parents tell us that when we were kids? You're going to get out what you put in. So anyway, your challenge for this week, should you choose to accept it, is I want you to have an introspective week. I want you to really consider this, because it has made me literally completely change all of my thinking this week. I've started thinking about my visions and my goals. I've actually realised that I've even been limiting my dreams sometimes. You know, I over the last few years, I've kind of thought, well, I'm capable of this or I'm capable of that, and I've put self-limiting beliefs on what I believe that I'm capable of doing. And I've therefore actually lowered my standards of my dreams, of my goals that I want to hit. This has made me completely rethink, actually, Joe, where is it that you want to be? What is it that you want to achieve? Who do you want to be? And what are you absolutely willing to do? What are you willing and prepared to sacrifice and commit to achieve those goals? And that is your challenge for this week. Go have a think about, have you really laid out your vision? Do you really know who it is you want to be, where you want to go and what you're doing? If you haven't, then go and do that first. Go and watch my perfect day exercise. I'll put a link to it below this video, you know, where you go and you just basically take a day and you come out of it with a complete vision of who you want to be, where you want to be, what you want to be doing in a year from now, 2 years from now. And so make sure that you've done that, and then ask yourself, are you willing to do what it takes? And if so, what is that? What have you got to do in order to make it happen? And then, of course, as always, make it happen. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you found this episode useful. Do come and chat with me in the comments below. I love to chat with you, and of course, share with your friends if you have found it valuable. Thanks so much for watching. Have an awesome week. Live on purpose, and of course, make it happen. I'll see you again next week.